All right, YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy AlexTrainsChest, and today is part number 9 of the injury progress video. And I took the measurements just now, but before I get into that, I wanted to talk about two things. The first thing is, so I was on the phone with my mom, and I was telling her that I was making these videos, and I sent her one to watch. And she said, "Oh, that's cool, but like, what's your goal?" And so I realized that I hadn't really discussed what the goals are. So for the standing hinge test, I'm basically going for comparable to what my normal range of motion was before. So where I'm at right now, I'm getting down maybe to about my knees when I bend over. But before I was injured, I could pretty much almost get down and touch my toes. I could touch my toes if I was to stretch for a long period of time and really let myself sink into the position. Now for the lay down leg raise test, so normal range of motion for that would be basically that I could get my leg to 90 degrees perpendicular at the ground, or basically even further. And then in terms of the stability test, I'm going to try to shoot for 30 seconds on each side with minimal pain. And today I just did 10 seconds on both sides, but at around second number 6 or 7, I started feeling a lot of pain, so it was hard to push through those last seconds. So I think getting to 30 seconds would be a good goal. The second thing I want to mention before I get into the measurements is... Shit. What was it? Alright guys, just lost my train of thought there for a second. The second thing that I wanted to talk about really fast before I get into these measurements is why I selected these specific movements. And I can't remember if I talked about this in video number 1, so I'll just re-explain it now. So the main reason why I did these 3 particular things is because they're actually tests that I can measure. So I can physically measure the distance, from where the tape measure starts as far as I can bend over. I can physically measure how high my leg gets, and I can use that to calculate an angle. I can time the stability exercise. And there's a lot of stuff that is a challenge right now with this injury, but it's just, I can't measure it. So now the next logical question is, well, Alex, do those measurements, are they actually a good indicator of whether or not you're making progress? And for this particular injury, I would say yes, because this injury affects essentially everything involving me bending over and everything involving me raising my legs. So in terms of bending over, that could be something stupid like getting something from a drawer, but more importantly, or picking something up off the ground. But more importantly, what that measures is, can I actually pick up a dumbbell off the ground without it being painful? And so right now I have to go through this kind of laborious process just to move a dumbbell around. And that might sound kind of lame, but let's say I'm trying to load, the bar for bench press. Picking up a 45-pound plate, especially if it's at the bottom of the rack or even like on the floor in some places that I work out, is a real challenge. Now, the lay down leg raise test, well, I'm a big fan of training core every day, and I can't do that right now because I'm injured. And the amount of core exercise, basically any core exercise involving lifting my legs up off the ground, yeah, that's not happening right now. So the higher I can lift that leg, the more range of motion I can get on those bottom up core exercises that work the lower core and stuff like that. And then lastly, the stability thing in combination with the other two is a good indicator of whether or not I'm going to be able to run or whether or not I'm going to be able to jump rope. Now, in a lot of cardiovascular exercises, your legs are doing a ton of stabilization, especially with running. And I actually tried running earlier today, and it did not go well. But I did try jump roping earlier today, and that actually went well. So anyway, those are the 2 things I want to talk about. 1, what my goals are. 2, why I selected these specific indications. Why I selected these specific tests for measuring progress. So anyway, with that, let's just jump into the measurements. Thanks for listening. Probably kind of boring for a lot of you, but yeah, that's that.
All right, so going into the standing hinge test, and I actually kind of had low expectations for today because the drive home kind of sucked. It was pretty painful. So it looks like I'm going to get down to a little bit more, like about 18 inches and a quarter. So if we put that up on the screen, that's going to be a delta of 10.75, a decrease of a quarter inch from yesterday. I mean, give me a break, you know? This is hog shit. So of course I did worse in that test the day after I said I was seeing improvements every day. And now we go into this and we get up to 16 inches and it's exactly the same as yesterday. So now I'm here eating my words. I mean, come on. So now that we got through that, we are going to go into the stability test, and I got my phone out there so I could accurately time 10 seconds on either side. So we'll just meander around here and let the timer run out. I know you guys are really interested in doing this. And now we're going to go to the other side and look at my face. This one's a little bit harder because it hurts. So anyway, I'm actually going to make it to 10 seconds on this one, and that's going to conclude the video, guys. Catch you later.